We talk a lot about marketing to your ideal client, about getting them to know, like, and trust you so that they want to work with you. But today I want to talk about what comes next, which is also something a lot of people have a hard time with. Once you get someone to want to work with you, what do you charge? And for a lot of people, even thinking about a sales conversation makes them uncomfortable. So, one of the biggest struggles for many purpose driven entrepreneurs, coaches, heart centered business owners is how to price their products and services. How do you figure that out? Once you enroll new clients and customers, and how do you do that without feeling fake, pushy, or salesy, or even sleazy? So I have with me today a friend who knows so much about this. This is Ann Hession. She's an intuitive coach and energy healer with more than 30 years of experience. She's a serious heart centered entrepreneur. And she's also a sales expert. She has millions of dollars of sales to her name, both of her own programs and services and other people's. I've actually gone through one of her programs and it was super helpful. It really brought me a lot of clarity and confidence in the value that I provide to my clients. So I wanted to share an opportunity with you. She has a free 5-day challenge starting soon to help others with this problem. How do you figure out what to price? So, Anne, thanks for being here.
Welcome. Happy to be here.
Great. You've described this as a training for people who are allergic to sales and selling. Can you talk a little bit more about this and who it's for?
Yeah, sure. I think anyone, I think pretty much anyone who has a service or a product that matters to them, right? That they have some passion for. It's part of their, their creativity. It's something that really matters to them. It can be really challenging to put a price on that, right? Because it's just so personal. So it's hard to put a price on it without having all kinds of stuff come out of about, how are you pricing yourself somehow, right? And issues of self-worth, which pretty much everybody has to one degree or another. Those get in the mix. Feeling just all these concerns. It's a lot easier to actually, for most people, it's a lot easier to sell somebody else's stuff than it is to sell you and your own stuff, because it's not as personal. So as long as it's something that you believe in, you might have at least some success, right, in selling it. But then when it's you, it's like this whole other thing that comes up and gets in the way. So I think that, when I say as an energetic healer, and that's, I am that, when I say allergic to sales, people tend to laugh and be like, oh,
I
yeah,
did.
I get that. But honestly, as an energetic healer, it's not even really a metaphor. I mean, it's literally energetically like allergic to sales. There's such negative energy around it that people just want to avoid it completely and hope that marketing alone will do it for them. And that that's not true, right? You need to have something at the end of the marketing sequence where you actually have a transaction. So they're either just trying to avoid it completely, or when they try to have that sales conversation, they're like stumbling over their words. They're all cut up in their own head, right? This is one of the things I hear from people a lot is, while they're trying to have a conversation with the other person, maybe someone who's genuinely expressed interest in working with you, what's going on in their head is like, what are they going to think? What should I say? Are they going to think it's too much? How can I even charge for this? There's all this. So you can't be with the other person, which is what's effective in a
Right.
sales
What you need
conversation.
to do.
It's actually be present and be with them and be really listening and seeing where they are, because we're all caught up in here. And that's one of the things that really just kills off people's ability to have sales and sell the work that they love so much to do. So I could go on about that for a long time, actually.
I'm sure. Because I think it's also probably a little bit different whether someone is new in offering what they do as a business versus if they've done it a long time, maybe have more experience. They might still have the same issues and the same thoughts, going through their head. And I know that you've been self-employed most of your life, and you said
I
it's
have.
something that you've grappled with. What do I charge? How do I price so I feel really good about it? So how do you do that?
Yeah, it really is. I've been self-employed, for 30 years or more. I mean, I've had a few jobs along the way, and that when you have a job, other than in some cases where maybe you're negotiating something when you go in, but that's
Salary,
not
yeah.
most jobs, right? Other than that, when you have a job, you don't have to come up with a value for what you do. It's just like, this is the job and this is what it pays, and that works for you or it doesn't, right?
Right.
But
Yeah.
when
And
you
it's a
have your own,
one-time thing. Yeah.
yeah, right.
Generally.
When you have your own business and you're selling your own services, or say you're an artist and you're selling your products, but it's like
Right.
you created it.
Mhm.
You're the one who comes with what has to come up with a price. And so I kind of been through it all, because I was starting in my 20s, and I had all my just was so inexperienced and everything. So I've had to put a price on what I do for many, many, many years. And all the questions that come up, right? What will people pay? What will people think? Am I charging too much? Am I charging too little? Will anybody pay that? Is it worth it? Anything, just all of that, like, stuff that goes on in there. And I realized that over the years, I had actually created a process.
Mhm.
And I didn't really, you know how it is when you just kind of grapple with something for a while and then it just becomes what you do.
Right. I was gonna say you're doing it and then you realize, wait, I have a
Wait,
process for
I
this.
actually have a process. There's a thing that I do when I need to price myself. And I realized that would be really valuable for a lot of people to have. So that's what I put into this perfect price point challenge. This it's being offered as a free 5-day challenge on Facebook, and it's process. It's a 5-step process to really walk you through what you need to do internally to come up with pricing that you feel confident and aligned with. And I do really want to emphasize that this is not a training about go and research what other people are charging and go and try to find out what's the average. There's zero of that. And if you find that useful, it's certainly go ahead and do that. But what I'm saying is, when it's your own business, and especially if you are a purpose-driven, heart-centered type person, coaches, healers,
Mhm.
creatives,
Right.
if how you come up with your pricing is that you go and you research and you try to figure that out, that's still an external thing that's coming up with the price. And I'm going to tell you right now, it doesn't work. It doesn't work for people like us.
Because you still sit there and go, okay, that's what someone else is, but that does it feel like me? And you
Yeah,
said, like, does it feel congruent to what I offer and what I give people and the transformation I provide? And what's external is not necessarily going to answer yes there.
exactly. So what you need is pricing that you yourself are aligned with, and an empowered view of yourself, like your most empowered relationship to yourself and your value. Pricing that's aligned with that is pricing that you can be confident about. And I want to make a distinction here between being confident and being comfortable, right?
Right.
So I
Yes.
never really talk to people. The goal is never to be comfortable.
No.
Comfortable is not a good goal. I'm not
Nope.
knocking. We all like comfort, and there's
But
times
when it comes to
it's
this,
what
no.
we need. Like, sometimes we just need some comfort, right?
Yes, of course, but
Right.
not for
But as a
this.
goal in business to be comfortable, it's a terrible goal, because it'll never get you the things that you really want. If you look
Right.
at not just a business, but any part of your life,
Right.
all the really worthwhile things you have in your life, you did not get them by being comfortable.
Right. You have to get outside your comfort
You
zone.
you do. But so to me, I like to switch it to this other word, confident. Think
Hmm.
about this. When you're truly confident, you can actually handle a whole lot of discomfort, can't you?
Right.
Right? You can just, yeah, it's like, yeah, it's not comfortable, but it's okay. I got this. I can
Right.
do this, right?
Right.
Because you're confident. And that comes from you being aligned,
Right.
right? From
That's the I know what I'm worth. I know what I provide. I know what
Mhm,
my value is. I know what my time is worth. I know what my skill is worth. And this is
exactly,
what it is.
exactly. Because here's the thing. If you do that more external route, which a lot of people will tell you to do, go and
Right.
research all that. And I'm not saying there's no value to that. I'm just saying it's woefully insufficient for
And
people.
it's totally different than what you've talked about.
Totally different. And the thing is, like, it does not matter what price you come up with for what you do. It does not matter. People will still have opinions about it. They
True.
will have opinions about that it's too much or it's too little or it's this or that. And they'll have all their reasons why they're right about your pricing. And that is never, ever going to change.
Right. And there
And
will always be people who think it's too much and people who think it's
yes,
too little.
there's no price you could come up with that
None.
everybody's going to agree
Be
with.
like, perfect. That sounds right for everybody. No,
Yeah,
it just has to be right for you.
Yeah, exactly. And when it is, the thing is, if your process was just that sort of external thing, then when other people, external,
Yeah.
have their opinions, it's going to throw you. It's going to be like, it's going to make you doubt it again. It's like, oh, I guess I have to go back. The external change, right? So I know I need a new thing. Whereas when you've gone through this internal process, this 5-step process that I came up with over the decades, it doesn't matter. Other people's opinions don't matter anymore because you know it's what works for you.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It is. It's so awesome sounding. I think you kind of covered. I was going to say, what can people expect to get out of it? But I don't want you to reveal what the whole thing is. But is there anything else you want to add there?
Yeah, just that it really is about it's literally just a proven process that I just realized I had developed over the years that will have you so clear and so connected and so grounded in the value that you bring that it really will just change forever your whole relationship to this really critical part of business, which is your price. I mean, without a price, you don't have a business.
Right. Without a
Because you don't
sale,
have-
if you're not selling something, you're not making money. It's not a business. It's a hobby.
Yeah, right. So sales is the only part of your business that actually makes money, right?
Right.
And price is an integral part of that. So I chose to create this training because it gets right at the very heart of what usually shows up as one of the biggest blocks for people building a successful business. Because all that stuff that's in the way is all tied up in price. So it's an amazing opportunity for me as the kind of work that I do, which is all about transformational work, to be like, ooh, we're going to get rid of so much of that stuff just in this one training.
It sounds
Because it's right at the core.
right. It sounds fantastic. So if someone wanted to sign up for this, how much time should they be setting aside for the challenge?
So it's in the form of a free 5-day challenge. And so what's going to happen is when you sign up, I highly recommend you join the Facebook group, and there'll be links to do that too, because we will be having discussions and daily kind of prizes and stuff in the group, but all the information will be delivered with an email. So each day you'll get an email with a link to the video for that day. The videos are short, they're usually 10 to 15 minutes. Some of them are even shorter than that. And so it really only takes, minutes a day to go through the training and do the short exercises. But they're designed to, like I said, kind of just dial right in and get at the thing that's holding you back and shift you. And people have told me that just this free training was really life-changing for them.
Yeah. Like I said, I've done one of your programs. I got so much out of it. And
Thank you.
it's definitely a little bit different way of looking at how you price than, like you said, what else you hear in the market or even what I've heard from other coaches. So
Mhm.
it was really helpful as just like another piece to be looking at.
Yep.
Totally worth
And
doing it.
the other thing I just want to say is like, really, this is a process that you're going to learn, and then you can use the same process over and
Right.
over for sometime in the future when you decide you're ready to raise your prices again, or a new offering that you come up with. You can use the same process I do over and over.
Right.
Every time I come up with something new, or I just feel like, yeah, you know what? It's time to raise my prices. Let's go.
Right.
Like that.
It's you go through that process again of, does this feel right? Does this feel like the perfect price? And if you're even having that question, the answer is obviously no. And so then you figure out how to use it, the same process,
Exactly.
figure
You
out how to
just
change it.
go through the process. Exactly.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing all this with us. If you're interested in learning more about it or signing up, then find the link in this post.
All right. Yay. I can't wait to see you guys there.
Yeah, I hope people do.